The South African Development of Home Affairs said it is introducing temporary measures to assist foreign nationals facing delayed outcomes in their waiver and visa application due to the backlog at the department. The department said that it is currently sitting with a backlog of almost 62,700 visa applications, which it has been trying to get through since last year. However, the backlog had only grown since then, forcing the department to bring a relief to thousands of foreign nationals who would be left in the lurch when their visas expire. Visa application and processing have become a veritable nightmare for businesses in South Africa looking to hire specialists and critical skills needed for operation. Joining me live on the news to discuss this is the legal representative Simba Chitando. Thank you for your time. All right, so let's get straight to it.
Yes.
All right, Simba, thank you so much for your time. Okay, so let's get straight to it. A breather for those who have applied for waivers to remain in South Africa, but also a bit of confusion for many. For instance, the ZEP permit holders in there are also included in this directive. What do you make of this?
Well, the decision by the Department of Home Affairs to grant what is another extension after many other extensions speaks to what you just mentioned, which is a backlog which the Home Affairs Department has been struggling to meet, a backlog of applicants who have asked for or have applied for various permits, and they have not received a decision, and they are unlikely to receive a decision because the department has all but collapsed. And that collapse, which is self-admitted, it's not an accusation, this is something that the Department of Home Affairs has admitted to the parliamentary committee when they were called to South Africa's parliament to explain what's going on. They say that, no, we have got these challenges. And obviously, the majority of people who are affected are Zimbabwean nationals, ZEP holders who I represent. I represent various other groups, Zimbabwean groups or Zimbabwean nationals in South Africa who have taken the Department of Home Affairs to court. It's also important to mention that I represented about 182 German and Swiss and British nationals who waited for over 6 years, sometimes 7 years, for the Department of Home Affairs to give them the necessary papers to do their business in South Africa. So this is not just a matter that affects Zimbabweans, even though the latest decision is for Zimbabweans, but it speaks to the systemic collapse of the Department of Home Affairs.
Now, is this a cutoff that those who have not applied for waivers cannot apply after the 30th of March?
It appears to be they have put a cutoff, but I would challenge that cutoff. These decisions are not, even the cutoff date itself is not set out in the Immigration Act. You can't. The department cannot continue to create laws as they go, create deadlines that do not exist. They just arbitrarily come up with. I mean, in the case of this latest decision, it was communicated yesterday, and they gave a March cutoff date, which really is 2 days for ZEP holders or the foreign nationals who feel affected by this communication to act. There is a lot of frustration. There is a lot of panic. All of yesterday and this morning, I've been dealing with a lot of that panic from Zimbabwean nationals, from clients, and even from media houses such as yourselves, trying to explain what's going on. And my belief is that no court would allow this this what looks like a very arbitrary and a very punitive cutoff date. It's unreasonable, and it would not pass.
All right, Chitando. Now, talking about panic, I want to ask you about this category of people. Now, so what happens to those who, of course, have applied and, of course, have their waivers? They want to leave South Africa and still want to come back within that particular period. What can they do? What happens to them?
If they would like to travel in and out of the country after the cutoff or before it, is it after the cutoff?
After the cutoff, within the period of all of this,
what
yes.
normally happens in a situation like that is that the individual concerned will inform the Department of Home Affairs, usually the Department of Home Affairs officials at the airport or port of entry at the border post, that look, I'm traveling to another country, and they'll see that you've made an application. It will be on the system, and they would allow that individual to move. It has to be noted that there's no law that prevents a Zimbabwean national from going back to their own country or from leaving South Africa. The challenge would then become when they return into South Africa. South Africa cannot hold people hostage, obviously, but they can prevent foreign nationals from coming back in. And when they come back in, that's where the challenge normally is. The foreign national, in this case, Zimbabwean, would have to show that they've made an application and they should be allowed to come in. It also is important to note that Zimbabwe still does have visa on arrival in South Africa that lasts for about 3 months.
All right.
So that's important to note.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. And of course, we appreciate you, Simba Chitando.
Thank you for having me.